this week's episode of Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society's podcast. I am your host, Barnaby, and today I'm all by myself. The reason for that is, well, there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, we accidentally released last week's episode a week early. So 2 weeks ago, you got 2 podcasts, and last week you got none. I hope you guys realize the mistake there and won't judge us too hard on our misdating the release dates of those podcasts. I hope that you really enjoyed the behind-the-scenes podcasts about the test episode and listening to more information about Fathom and Derek and how they actually interact with the spirit realm and the other entities that they interact with on our team. So we hope that you enjoyed those, and if you have any questions, you can always feel free to message us. Our email is wisconsincaps, C-A-P-S, at gmail.com, and just let me know who you have a question for, and I'll pass it along to them. Today, we were supposed to have a special podcast that was recorded this past weekend on a investigation we did. However, we have a new audio recording system set up in the van that allows each person in the van to talk into their own microphone, and it has really great audio quality. The problem is that the audio quality is so good, it also picks up the engine noise. So the engine noise actually overwhelmed the entire podcast, and you pretty much listen to the engine of the van as we drive down the street instead of the actual people talking in the van. So we're working on a way to fix that for our next episode that we record on an investigation. So that's why you have just me today and no other members of the team, because like I said, we had an episode recorded and it didn't work the way that we had planned. But I kind of wanted to go over some stuff with you guys today that's been in the news recently. If you haven't seen it or heard it, CNN posted that the Pentagon has released 3 short videos showing unidentified aerial phenomenon. So these videos were actually released previously online, and they were recorded by the Navy, and they were leaked online, and a lot of people had speculation of whether or not these videos were true or accurate, or if they were hoaxed. And for whatever reason, the Pentagon actually came forward and said, yes, these are real videos, and released them themselves as evidence of unexplained aerial phenomenon, according to them. So what that means, we really don't know yet, aside from it's becoming more and more commonplace that these government agencies are actually encouraging their pilots and the Navy officers, etc., to come forward and report any unidentified crafts of any kind, below the water, above the water, anything like that. And I think you're going to see more and more in the future that this stuff is coming forward. And yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, a few of our team members, including myself, have seen unidentified objects in the sky. Recently, they're not unidentified, but we've been keeping an eye on the Starlink satellites that are going over by Elon Musk. And these are supposed to be a broadband network. And there's like 70 of them up there now. They go over in a pretty big string. and they're pretty interesting to see. Recently in Wisconsin here, they've been going over between like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and you can watch them go over. And we've spent a couple nights that we're out on investigations and stuff the last few weekends where we've actually been able to see and photograph these as they go over. In other news, let's see, UNICEF has put out a video called An Unexpected Friend. And the basic premise of the video is that there is what looks to be like an alien hybrid child, and he is starting a new school, and he gets bullied and picked on by the students there. And throughout the video, you realize that he can do telekinesis, he can move things, he makes the characters at the school play levitate on the stage, and he has other special talents that the other kids find useful or exciting, so they befriend him and accept him. And it's kind of interesting that this video actually came out right after the Pentagon released the 3 videos. And there is another Eastern country that just released information on their policies on UFO encounters or sightings or whatnot of UFOs. So UFOs have been kind of in the news lately as far as world news. As far as local news here in Wisconsin, if anybody has not heard yet, there was a audio recording taken in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and a gentleman captured the video at night through his apartment window, and he has a series of unidentified howls coming from a wooded wildlife area across the river from his apartment building. And our team has actually been up there. We've interviewed them, and we will be showing what we found in an upcoming episode, which is actually what we were doing when we were investigating when we recorded that podcast. But that should be out later this year. It's shaping up to be a pretty nice episode. We're looking forward to completing filming on it and stuff. And in the works of investigating this area and talking to witnesses and stuff, we also found another witness about 20 miles west of Rhinelander, who this gentleman lives out in the boonies, out in the middle of the woods, and he has a house and a garage there. And one night he was awoken by his dog barking and didn't know why. Well, the next day he goes outside and finds his trash can that he had up on his porch was taken off the porch and carried over to the side yard, laid out in the ground, and the trash was actually sorted into 3 neat piles. All the food scraps, he says, were removed from these piles, and he said that they were like in plastic Walmart bags. And the Walmart bags were found left like in a trail back into the woods, and he was too scared to go back there and follow the trail any further, so he didn't really know where they ended up. He did find in the mud outside of his house a 11-inch footprint, and this footprint is 11 inches long and 6 inches wide, and he made a casting of it. So he actually has the footprint cast from what he believes is a Bigfoot Sasquatch creature. So that was kind of interesting. We met with him, we investigated his property and stuff as well, and that will be on the upcoming episode that we have. We also would like to give you an update on some of the conventions that we had lined up this summer, and spring and fall, and the outcomes of their COVID-19 postponements, etc. So the first one that we had was the Seven Winds Casino convention, and that features Jeff Meldrum, Cliff Barrickman, and James Bobo Fay from Finding Bigfoot. And that has actually been rescheduled to October. And that one was supposed to be in April. So that one will now be October 24th at the Seven Winds Casino, and that is in Hayward, Wisconsin. We also had a convention scheduled for June 6th, and these aren't our conventions. These were just ones that we were going to have a booth at or participate in, but we wanted to pass along the information for you as far as these. So anyway, the Menominee, Michigan Bigfoot Paranormal Conference that was scheduled for June 6th has been postponed to next year, and that one will now be on June 5th of 2021, sorry. And that one will still have Craig Salk from the Hayden Adventure in Menominee, Michigan, and he'll be presenting stuff about their property and the Hayden Bigfoot that they have on their property. And I believe Linda Godfrey is also confirmed to still be speaking at that event next year. I have not heard if Ken Gerhard or if Chad Lewis will be speaking at that convention, but they were scheduled for this year, so we'll have to see if they're scheduled for next year. But we will be there for sure. So we will see you in 2021 at the Menominee, Michigan Bigfoot Paranormal Convention. And the last one we have, I have not heard if it's been postponed or rescheduled, and that'll be Paranormal Con, Paracon, I believe. And that is in Milwaukee, and that will be October 10th still, if it's still going on. So we will be at all of those, hopefully. And then there's also UFO Days coming up in July, and also the Wendigo Fest in Manitowoc that I believe is in I believe it's in October. So we'll keep you posted on those when we get more information on those, if they're not postponed or canceled or anything. You can watch our Facebook page and our website for a full list of events that we'll be at. And we also try and post other events that we're not going to be at, but are near enough that you guys should go check out. So, I think that's about all we got for this week. Again, I'm sorry that our regularly scheduled podcast is not able to air. We should be back next week with a brand new episode, and we're sorry that this one aired late today instead of our normally scheduled Monday at 10 a.m. It's been a wild ride for us the last couple weekends, so things have been hectic for all the Caps team, as well as this whole COVID coronavirus situation has kind of thrown things into a weird situation for everyone. But just to let you know, we have some awesome content coming up pretty soon here. Once we start filming again, we have investigations scheduled, and they should make for some pretty good shows. So thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time on the next Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Societies podcast. Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. To find out more about Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society, visit our website at wisconsincaps.com. That's wisconsincaps.com. There you can find links to our YouTube and Facebook pages. You can also submit your sightings and encounters. And don't forget to check out our online store for t-shirts, DVDs, and more. If you have had an encounter with something unexplained in or around Wisconsin, we would love to hear about it. You can send us an email at wisconsincaps@gmail.com, or to submit an anonymous report, visit our website and click Report Your Encounter on the main page.